Bro, you've got to be kidding me. There's no way the Boston Celtics just did what they just did again in back-to-back games at home. I'm honestly speechless, loss of words when describing this and talking and breaking down what we just witnessed unfold in front of our eyes. If you've been living under a rock, maybe you're concerned, maybe you don't know what's going on, but the Boston Celtics just lost to the New York Knicks and once again blew a 20-point lead at home and are now down 2-0 in the series going to New York. This is absolutely the worst case scenario for the Boston Celtics. We're going to dive in. We're going to break down all of this on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. I want to appreciate everyone for tuning in. You are watching this video. Obviously, we're all frustrated. We have to dive in and we have to break down everything revolving around this team. So we got to cover it. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of discussion, a lot of what ifs, really, when discussing this game. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, grab your snack and let's get into it. No mini injury update. That's the wrong chapter. I'm at a loss for words, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what is going on. After the game one loss, honestly, I was not worried. The Celtics shot like crap. I felt like they were going to be able to bounce back. I felt some rush coming into tonight, right? I was nervous on the pregame live stream, but I was confident, right? And once again, throughout this game, I remained confident. And late game, started to worry a little bit once Mikal Bridges started getting hot. But I still remain my confidence in this team. But once again, like the Celtics choking a 20-point lead, my heart was crushed. A 91-90 win for the New York Knicks. Shooting percentages for the Celtics, once again, absolutely atrocious on the offensive end. 34 for 54 from the field, shooting 36% from the field. 25% once again from three-point range. 10 for 40. 12 for 15 from the free throw. Some solid free throws. Jayson Tatum missing one late, but fortunately for the Celtics team, once again, a terrible shooting night. And we saw that in the fourth quarter, courtesy of Justin Turpin. This is where the Knicks really started to pick up the momentum after Mikal Bridges had a quiet, scoreless first three quarters. He once again came alive offensively late for the Knicks and came back defensively as well. But for the Celtics, we see them absolutely shoot terrible. 5 for 24 from the field and 2 for 11 from three-point range. This is just unacceptable from a Celtics team that was shattering records at the beginning of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget that this Boston Celtics team has the most three-pointers made by an NBA franchise in NBA history. They have the most three-pointers made in Boston Celtics franchise history. And they had three players in Derrick White, Jayson Tatum, and Peyton Pritchard for the first time in history all reach 250 three-pointers made on the year. This team shows that it can come up and hit these big shots when it matters most. And for some reason, in the regular season, Jayson Tatum had these 30, 40-point games, was able to take care of this New York Knicks squad. But for some reason, this Celtics team feels that trying to find that three and trying to get to that basket is much more important than driving to the lane. We saw late in the game Jayson Tatum get that ferocious dunk to really get that momentum swinging back for the Boston Celtics. And that's all we're asking for, guys. That's all we're asking for. But no, got to be dependent on the three-point ball as always. I tweeted out multiple times late in the game, please stop shooting the three. Please have some patience with the offensive possessions here. You look at the first half, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, right? Yeah, Jaylen Brown maybe taking one or two many of those fadeaway mid-range jumpers that you would have liked, but they were effective. He was attacking the rack. He was showing his aggressiveness. Where did that all go? Completely washed out. We saw Horford look tired towards the end of the game. Where's Luke? Where's Luke? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We want to go back, kind of dive in, look at the stats here. Once again, Horford, some solid defense tonight. Really great, grabbing some rebounds, being that energy guy. But unfortunately, not the greatest offensive night. Tatum, 5 for 19, 1 for 5 from three-point range. Grabbing those rebounds, assists, steals, helping out the Celtics in every other way. But 9 points, Jayson Tatum. 9 points in the fourth quarter, finishing with 14. Not going to cut it for you. Jrue Holiday has been absolutely fantastic And I want to make sure that that point gets hit on a nail because he has been electric since returning from this injury. Really getting that rest from the Orlando Magic series has been very impactful for him offensively and defensively. Maybe missed some threes tonight, but he's just everywhere. And on Jalen Brunson, taking care of that assignment, right, ladies and gentlemen? Making sure he's sticking towards him. And we saw the Knicks, once again, come back down 20 from back-to-back games. And it's just sickening, ladies and gentlemen. Just sickening. Derrick White hit some clutch threes, tried to get the Celtics into it. Jaylen Brown was that aggressive guy going at it for the Celtics with 20 points. And then off the bench, once again, Luke Kornet got to be probably, if one of the MVPs, if not the MVP for this game for the Boston Celtics. Doing all the little things, getting key blocks down low. Yeah, he missed a layup here or there, but got some emphatic dunks, was really helping out. Truly, Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday, and Luke Kornet all deserve their pats on the back. Other players stepped up in other ways as well, like Al Horford defensively, Tatum getting the rebounds. Pritchard hit some big shots as well in the fourth quarter, really striving to get offensively for the Celtics to grow that lead before they lost it. But once again, just the offensive game plan at the end of the game is just not working for this Celtics squad. We talked about in the pregame live stream, they need to attack the lane, right? They need to start driving. They need to do stuff differently. And I didn't see that. I truly didn't see that. I truly did not see that towards late at the game. It's once again chucking threes, chucking threes, chucking threes. And this defense, right, had some lapses at some points, but played solid throughout. Jrue Holiday was doing fantastic. There were times where Karl-Anthony Towns for this New York Knicks team was getting some open shots, right? But they were playing pretty solid defense, letting Josh Hart, playing off on Josh Hart. And then when Josh Hart would take these opportunities, throwing Luke Kornet on him, someone that they didn't need to use like a Tatum or a Brown, right? They were being smart on that side of the ball, but just late game antics, decision making from this Celtics team has just cost them towards the end. And then no timeout with the last 12 seconds. They have a timeout. They don't use the timeout for that last shot. I genuinely don't know, specifically when you don't have a play drawn up, when you get down there, right? You have 4 or 5 seconds, call the timeout. There's a lot of questions revolving around this team, right? Obviously, everyone's going to be outraged. Everyone's going to be complaining. I think everybody has some sort of blame here, but truly, it's the players, right? The guys who showed up in the beginning of these games, right? Jayson Tatum in the first half of game 1, Jaylen Brown in the first half of game 2, weren't able to close it out here for the Boston Celtics in these late game heroics, right? And when you have guys like Mikal Bridges who go silent for 3 quarters and then absolutely erupt in the fourth, that you just cannot let that happen. Specifically when you know Jalen Brunson's going to get some clutch shots, when you know Karl-Anthony Towns is going to find some offensive holes. The Celtics need to make some adjustments here. We didn't really see many adjustments. We saw Kristaps Porziņģis off the bench, and Kristaps Porziņģis can be another discussion as well because he's not looking his best for the Boston Celtics. Had some run in that second half stint where he looked decent, but in his first half stint was just not that great. He's clearly not 100%, and that's something that's definitely hindering this Celtics ability too, right? It's realistically tough to be a Celtics fan right now, right? We all have questions. We're all furious. I'm lost for words at some points. Like, once this game ended, the reason why this took so long is because I genuinely did not know what to say, right? It would be me sitting here staring at the camera, just blank, going, what did we watch? What did we witness? Like, what is happening? But unfortunately, they're down 2-0. It's not over yet. I'm not saying it's over yet, but this is the worst situation, right? The Celtics last season never saw a situation like this, right? Where they were down 0-2, specifically where they lost both home games. And this is something that they need to work on, right? We know the Celtics have a better road record than they do at home this season, and Patrick has really hit that at home, that they've been these road dogs this season. So who knows? Maybe we see a little bit of history with this Celtics squad from a couple years back when they took on the Chicago Bulls and lost both games at home. Maybe we see them have some of that here. They go into New York and they steal those games like they did in Chicago a couple years ago to take that series back. And then hopefully we make it to game 5. That, I think, is the key for this series. Win one in New York. That game 3 is a must win. The New York crowd is going to be going absolutely insane. But like I mentioned, the Celtics rise to the occasion in MSG. The Celtics are road dogs this season, and it's clearly not over yet. We obviously need to see some step-up play from Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, from other players, Kristaps Porziņģis. And there'll be much more details coming out about this team, as well as obviously Sam Hauser's still doubtful when it was ruled out today. So what was his updates? What's the updates on Porziņģis? Because he didn't look the best and fully healthy. We'll have everything covered for you here on Celtics Digest for you to stay up to date. I want you guys to let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know it's a little bit of an upsetting video, but we have to break it down and have to talk about this unfortunate loss for the Boston Celtics here tonight. Once again, thank you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.